to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, we thank you for this morning, for health, for sunshine, for the place that we live. We thank you for our lives and our families. Lord, we thank you that we live in this free country. Lord, I pray for wisdom for all of us. Pray for wisdom for our Board of Supervisors, that they would act with great wisdom and with the ability to work with one another, the ability to work through issues that many times cause conflicts, that they would seek unity. Thank you once again for the people that are here and the service that they provide. We ask you to bless this proceeding in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Roy. Okay, we're going to start with public hearing 2A. Information, discussion, action to adopt resolution number 23-05-02, establishing an intergovernmental public transportation authority within Gila County. And we have Michael O'Driscoll and Travis Ashby.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. So over the past several years, there have been quite a few work sessions regarding the creation of the IPTA, better known as the Intergovernmental Public Transportation Authority. And the idea here is to consolidate the transportation systems in northern Gila County and southern Gila County into one transportation system. And the Board of Supervisors has the authority in ARS 28-9102 to go ahead and create this authority to get that moving. And then the next step after creating this authority would be to work on creating IGAs between the municipalities and Gila County to determine which partner is going to be part of the IPTA. So I'd be happy to answer any questions. I have Travis from CAG with me here, who's been working on this for the last 6 years as well. So we can answer any questions, hopefully.
Thank you, Michael. Supervisor Humphrey?
Yeah, I'll always have questions on this, but I guess they'll be answered one at a time as we open this can of worms. And so it's one of those deals that I think it's almost a railroad into it, that somebody's got to take care of it, and we're the only ones with our hand up. And so I think we'll just see where it goes. And that's my 2 cents worth, but thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Humphrey. Supervisor Christensen?
Thank you, Michael. I'm excited to see how this develops. I think it's the right direction to go, and the opportunities as they come forward are hopefully going to be very encouraging to see that we can serve the people of Gila County better by doing this. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
So I really don't have any questions, Michael. We had a good work session on this and got to hear about it, and I think I'm good. So go ahead, Jessica.
Yes, Chairman. So the determination is listed in the resolution, but we want to make sure that for the minutes, the board is aware that there needs to be a determination that establishing would create public convenience, necessity, safety, and welfare. So we have listed that in the resolution. I'm sure you're all aware of it, but I want to make sure that the record reflects that you are making that determination.
And I'm sure that it is at this point, so we should be good. Thank you. With that, I'll open up public hearings. In Payson, do we have anybody in Payson?
Yes, sir. We have a Mr. Troy Smith here.
Okay. Good morning, Troy. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioners. Troy Smith, Town Manager for the Town of Payson. I'm here today to speak in favor of your consideration.
Okay. Pardon me, Troy. Just 1 minute. We're having audio issues here. Maybe lean into that mic a little bit closer if you would, please, Troy, or try something different.
Okay.
You didn't have mic.
There we go.
Right.
There we go. That should work better.
Can you hear me now?
Is that better, Sam? Nope, they're not picking you up.
Okay.
Joseph, is there anything you can do up there? That?
It may be a good idea to recall us.
We can hear Joseph, though.
Yeah.
Oh, can't hear him.
But we're not getting it through the
Okay.
audio on our ladies here. You want us to dial you up again?
Yeah, go ahead and give that a try.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
How about now, ladies? You got him? Try it one more time, Troy, please.
Can you hear me now?
Nope, we're still not getting you. KIT, work your magic.
Joseph, last time when they brought the speaker to the table, that helped out, so I'm not sure if you want to remove it from the podium and put it back on the table.
We can try that.
And just set it at the table and use it?
Hey, Cassie, there may be you may be able to dial into my phone. Would that be viable? Okay. Go ahead and dial in from the keypad next to Sam.
Well, it may be a long meeting.
Go right ahead. I think we got time.
We have a new IT director.
We do. She's busy right
She's
now.
on it.
Welcome to the job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Right on.
Alrighty, is Sam able to hear me? Testing, testing, can you hear me?
Okay, she's got it.
Excellent.
Thank you for your patience, Troy. Let's give this a try.
A little bit of experience with this IT challenges at a meeting. Thank you. My name's Troy Smith. I'm the town manager for the town of Payson, and I came today to speak in favor of the formulation of the IPTA. The Gila County agencies, including the county and all the municipalities, participated with the CAG in a transportation study and subsequently a transportation governance study in 2021. That investment of effort by all of the governmental entities in Gila County resulted in a recommendation that an IPTA be formed to govern the transportation throughout the county. That takes some time to get one of these established, and we have been diligently working behind the scenes to create a governance structure to support the creation of an IPTA. The town of Payson has most recently taken over the Beeline bus operations with the idea that this IPTA would be formed and that it would ultimately assume the operation of all the transportation services, including the Beeline bus, in the very near future. The town of Payson supports and requests that the board approve this recommendation from staff to move forward with the formulation of an IPTA. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Troy. Does either one of you have questions for Troy?
No, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Thank you, Troy. I don't.
We're good, Troy. Appreciate your response there. Is there
Thank you
anyone
very much.
oh, go ahead if you got something else.
No, thank you, sir. That's all.
Okay. Joseph, is Troy the only one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do we have anyone in Globe? No one here, and no one on YouTube, or there's nothing coming through on YouTube? Okay, so I'll close the public hearing at this time and ask for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to adopt resolution number 23-05-02.
Mr. Chair, I'll second it.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Okay, on to 3A, information, discussion, action to adopt proclamation number 2023-02, proclaiming the month of May 23 as National Treatment Court Month. David Wolak? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. Thank you so much. On behalf of the Opiate Court team, we just wish to thank you for giving us a couple minutes to talk about our Opiate Court program and also for your consideration of a proposed proclamation. And let's see if I can do this. As up on the board, I am the Gila County Superior Court Judge. You folks appointed me back in July of 2020. As far as this program is concerned, as you can see, and you probably heard all over the news, that more than 5 people die every day from opiate overdoses in Arizona, particularly not just prescription opiates, but illegal opiates like the counterfeit pills with fentanyl are addictive, they're deadly. In 2017, a statewide public health emergency was issued in an effort to reduce opiate deaths. In response to that public health emergency, Gila County Probation implemented the Gila County Opiate Drug Court. So, as far as the history is concerned, back in September of 2018, a number of staff members traveled to Buffalo, New York to train with the Buffalo Opiate Court, which happened to be the first opiate treatment court in the entire nation. And as a result of that training, Gila County implemented its first opiate court drug court session that was presided over by my predecessor, Gary Scales. In July of 2021, I took over this opiate drug court assignment as well as several other assignments, and we essentially hold opiate court twice a month. We are trying to do not only hearings in Payson, but also to move them over to Gila. So as far as the hierarchy organization is concerned, unfortunately, several members of our team were unable to appear here today. But Chief Probation Officer Steve Lessard, who was essential in the implementation of this program, is not here. The Opiate Court Coordinator, Lindy Trimble, also is not here. We have, as far as the program goes, though, we have several members that are here. And what I'd like to do is to have them stand up or just come on up and just introduce yourselves to the board. Folks, you want to just come up and... I think, Taylor, you can start off.
I'm Taylor Mansour. I am the probation officer for the Northern Gila County Opioid Court.
I'm Tyler Gebhardt, and I am one of the treatment overseers for Community Bridges, so I follow along with our treatment.
I am Carrie Schall, program support.
I am Barbie Romero, support for Kim. I'm Kim Smith, probation officer in Globe Southern Opioid Court.
My name is Ken Dillman. I'm the surveillance officer for the Payson Probation Office.
I'm Casey Hill. I'm on probation in the opioid court. This is my support team.
Welcome, everybody. Very good. You know, supervisors, well, if we gather this group up and get a photo real quick, we'll probably never have them all in one room again.
Yeah. Your chairman.
You guys good for that? We'll do it.
All right. Be great. Where do we stand? There must be a preferred spot.
I'm not patient. Kathy, I'm gonna do it. I can get y'all.
Thank you all so much.
All right, folks, I'm almost done. I know you have a busy.
No, go right ahead.
The average age of our participants at entry to the program is 35. The average length of the program is almost a year, 346 days. 67% of the participants are male, 33% female. The contacts with the probation department range anywhere from 5 contacts per week to 1 contact per week, depending on what level. There are actually 5 levels within this program, and it's built to a national standard. The treatment requirements are anywhere from 2 to 15 hours per week. Tyler Gebhardt, representing Community Bridges, is the program's substance abuse treatment provider. And then we have incentives and sanctions, and they're based on an evidence-based practice. So the incentives, we have little gifts that we provide by way of $10 and $25 gift cards when there is an advancement through the program as far as changing a level, moving up. There are also some other incentives. We do a lot of just positive reinforcement. What I try to do in the program is really treat everyone on a personal level, because this approach is much different than my typical approach when I have my law enforcement day on the criminal side, where we're basically we're treating people as defendants as opposed to participants. The sanctions obviously are jail. There's a 90-day deferred jail term, which is part of the program. So as far as the exits are concerned, as you can see, we're graduating approximately 38% of the participants. We're working to improve that graduation rate. We actually have a graduation where we not only have some speeches, we don't use graduation gowns per se, but one of the things that I thought was very effective is as you folks did, we took pictures here. We use the booking photo from when these people are first put in jail, and they look like they're definitely suffering from opiate abuse, and the graduates look much different, and we use that to remind them of just how far they've come. So as far as the program, the standard of care nationally for opiate addiction is medication-assisted treatment, and that is either methadone, naltrexone, Suboxone, Vivitrol. We have almost everyone in the program requirement that they be on some form of medication treatment. And as it's up there, the program goal is to save lives. So with that being said, I believe there's a proposed proclamation for the board's consideration. And I'm not familiar, Ms. Sabelli, as far as the order of things, but is that something that needs to be read before you adopt it, or do you adopt it first and then we read it? And I don't know if now is the time for questions or at whatever time, but please feel free not only to ask questions of myself, but also any members of the team, including Casey, who is one of our star participants in the program.
So we're going to jump into the questions first because I know for myself I have questions as well. So we'll start with Supervisor Humphrey.
Yeah, I don't have any questions, just grateful for the program. And 38%, and try to get better, but 38% is a lot of help for the people that need it. So appreciate the program very much.
Supervisor Christensen.
Thank you. So if I understand what we're doing, rather than going to jail, these people can opt to go into this program and hopefully be cured of an addiction or a substance abuse problem with opioids and all. And so 38% graduate, you're going to increase that number, and I think you will. So do you have a number or an idea of how many succeed after that or fail after that as far as slipping back into addiction?
I do not, and
Okay.
fortunately, Lindy Trimble, who is our coordinator, was not able to come here today. What I can say is that we did have a tragic situation where we had an individual graduate and did so well through employment, through sobriety, and unfortunately, I think it was within 6 to 8 months. Let me just see, was it about, oh, it was 4 months? Because as you folks may be aware, it only takes one strong fentanyl overdose to kill someone. And unfortunately, well, I guess it wasn't conclusive, but we strongly suspect that it may have been opiate abuse related. But as far as that number, I do not have it.
Okay.
We can supply that.
And that's fine, because I think it's a completely worthy thing to do, even if you succeed with one. Yes.
I can say that I know
You want to come up to the mic so the ladies can hear you on the audio, please?
I can say on the northern Gila County side, I'm not sure on the southern Gila County side, but I actually just took over about 6 months ago from the previous officer that ran opiate court, but I was the previous surveillance officer, so I've been with the program since it started. Our graduates, out of, I believe we've had like 5 now. Since we began the program, we've only had 1 that has relapsed and gone back to prison. So out of our 5, we've had 1. So
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure on the southern. Kim would have to speak on that side, but I know on our side we've had the 1. So we've seen a lot of success with the program so far.
Great. Yeah, I think actually, even though you say, well, that's 20% or whatever, that's actually pretty big. To get 4 successful out of the 5 is tremendous, I think. Thank you. That's all.
So you have this in Payson on the northern end. What do we need to do to get it on the southern end down here?
Well, actually, May 19th will be my first, well, it's actually, we have it in both Southern and Gila County. Maybe I kind of was a little confusing as far as the description, but we do a Zoom appearance with our Southern Gila County folks. So both with the participants as well as the staff. But starting, we're working with my boss, Judge Wright, in terms of arranging my schedule so that I can preside over some actual in-person opiate court hearings here in Globe, as opposed to in Payson with the Globe participants, participating via Zoom. So May 19th is actually, I will be here presiding over opiate court here at Globe, and the Payson participants will be participating remotely.
So today, obviously, if we agree to do this proclamation, it shows that we support this, which I can say from my standpoint, I totally support. So from a county standpoint, let me ask you this, and just for information, but is there anything you guys need from us as far as expanding this program or making it? You're doing a good job already, obviously, so I don't want to get the wrong impression, but making it better.
Well, I think that there's, as far as the medication-assisted treatment, which unfortunately we as a county don't necessarily have control over that. That's something that Community Bridges, Tyler's organization, I think if there were an ability, because we're able, there's a lot more support services through Community Bridges, Payson area as far as medication-assisted treatment. I think if there were more options available in southern Gila County, that would certainly benefit the program, but I don't think on a county level that that's something that any of you folks could do to help. It's something that I believe Mr. Lassard is working with Community Bridges to work and expand on that program so that we have more options as far as that medication-assisted treatment in southern Gila County.
So if there ever was anything as far as Community Bridges is concerned or needs support from us on whatever level that is, please let them know to contact us.
I certainly will, and we have a representative here that I'm sure will bring that back to the office.
Mm-hmm. You guys have any more questions or comments?
Good.
I was just going to say, I didn't know if Michael had anything to offer on his opinion about that.
Great. Chairman, members of the board, I think this is a wonderful program with the courts, and I know that the Department of Health Services has a very strong relationship with probation and Chief Lassard, and they're willing to help the courts and Chief Lassard and probation with any program. So thank you very much, sir.
And with that, do you have a copy of the proclamation? Is that what, would you like to read it? Come on up.
He's been looking forward to it, I'm sure.
I could see it in her eyes. She was wanting to read that Just state your name and everything again for us, please.
Jim Smith from Gila County Probation. I also would like to say that when the judge was saying that, or actually it was Taylor, that she's had 5 graduate in Payson, we've had 2 in Globe that have graduated. The one wasn't so good of a story afterwards, which Judge Wolak shared with you. And then the other one, I actually still talk to him a lot. I had his phone number in my work phone, and he graduated like 4 months ago, and I think he's been clean now about a year. And I told him that he had actually graduated to my personal cell phone. And so he calls me and texts me every once in a while, and it's a really good feeling hearing from him and knowing that he's still clean.
Good. Great.
Whereas, do I read the top line first or just the whereas?
Let's just go with the whereas.
Okay. Whereas treatment courts have restored lives and families for more than 3 decades, and whereas there are now more than 4,000 treatment courts nationwide with 1 adult opioid treatment court in Gila County, and whereas treatment courts are the cornerstone of justice reform sweeping the nation, and Gila County Adult Opioid Court is one of 33 opioid treatment court nationwide and the only treatment court of its kind in Arizona, and whereas treatment courts have served more than 1.5 million individuals nationwide and 41 individuals within Gila County since 2019, and whereas they are now recognized as the most successful justice system intervention in our nation's history, and whereas they save an average of $6,000 for every individual they serve, and whereas treatment courts significantly improve substance use disorder treatment outcomes, substantially reduce addiction and related crime, and do so at less expense than any other criminal justice strategy. And whereas treatment courts improve education, employment, housing, and financial stability, promote family reunification, reduce foster care placements, and increase the rate of addicted mothers delivering babies who are fully drug-free. And whereas treatment courts facilitate community-wide partnerships bringing together public safety and public health, and whereas treatment courts demonstrate that when one person rises out of substance use and crime, we all rise. Therefore, be it resolved that we, the Gila County Board of Supervisors, hereby proclaims the month of May 2023 as National Treatment Court Month, passed and adopted this 9th day of May 2023.
Thank you so much. It's definitely in the records now. Thank you for reading that.
Thank you.
And we'll be good. Mr. Hill, I want to congratulate you on being in this program. Hopefully it works out very well for you. And with that, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt proclamation number 2023-02.
Mr. Chairman, I will second that.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Judge. And appreciate you all for being here. Very good. Very good job. Okay, moving on to 3B. I need a motion to adjourn as Gila County Board of Supervisors and convene as the Gila County Library District Board of Directors.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Good morning, Elaine.
Good morning.
Let me read this for you and I'll get you started. Information, discussion, action to approve renewal and acceptance of grantee agreement number GRA-RC004-24-1209-01 between the Gila Regional Partnership Council, Arizona Early Childhood Development and Health Board, First Things First, and the Gila County Library District in the amount of $60,000 for fiscal year July 1st, 23 through June 30th, 24. You're all set, Elaine.
Thank you, Supervisor, Chairman. Appreciate that. This is just one of our grants that we get every year. It is for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So this provides free books to children birth to age 5 in their homes, so they get their own little library. It's a continuation that we've been doing for about 12, 13 years now, and I ask if you have any questions. I thought I would appreciate the approval.
Thank you, Elaine. Supervisor,
I have no question.
Supervisor Christensen.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Elaine. I love those Dolly Parton books. They're really wonderful. So thanks for your presentation.
Thank you.
Good job, Elaine. I'm good. That I'd entertain a motion.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve agreement number GRA-RC004-24-1209-01 in the amount of $60,000 as presented.
I will second.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you.
And I need a motion to adjourn as the Gila County Library Board of Directors and reconvene as the Gila County Board of Supervisors.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. On to 3C, information, discussion, action to accept the National Institute for Jail Operations, NIJO proposal and terms and conditions whereby NIJO will develop a policy and procedure manual for use by the Gila County Sheriff's Office, which includes yearly manual updates and other services at a cost of $21,150 for year 1 and $10,575 per year for years 2 through 5, beginning of May 1st of 23. And good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. You guys can hear me okay?
I'm watching Sam. She's nodding her head. You're good.
Okay, thank you. We come before you to ask for approval for an agreement with the National Institute of Jail Operations. What they'll do is they'll create a policy and procedure manual for us, and then they'll actually manage it. So they'll do all of the updates to the policy manual, and they'll also manage the platform that it's on, making sure that all of our employees have digital access to it. They'll also manage the employee sign-off and verification for us. So we'll actually get a report and a record that shows each employee has read it and acknowledged the policy and procedure. As stated, the first year is $21,150. Years 2 through 5 will be $10,575. The Gila County Sheriff's Office will be using criminal justice jail enhancement funds to fund this. With that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Sarah. Supervisor Humphrey?
I have no questions, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Christensen?
Thank you, Sarah. No questions.
I'm good as well, Sarah, so thanks for that, and I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the National Institute of Jail Operations proposal and terms and conditions as presented.
I will second.
Having a motion and second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Sarah. On to D, information discussion action to use a cooperative purchasing agreement with the State of Arizona Procurement Office, cooperative contract number CTR 058878, whereby Woodson Engineering and Surveying Incorporated will provide engineering design services to Gila County for the Control Road FSR 64 surfacing project in an amount not to exceed $148,535 through September 30th of 24. Tom, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, board members. This is a request for approval to use state contract number Charles Tom Robert 058878 with Woodson Engineering and Surveying for engineering design services. The Gila County Public Works Department proposes to use this ADOA contract for on-call civil engineering services with Woodson Engineering to provide construction plans for Control Road surfacing project. The contract amount is not to exceed $148,535. And this project is funded in part by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Tonto National Forest, in the amount of $75,000 under a cooperative agreement that we have with the Forest Service. As part of this contract, Woodson Engineering will perform project management. They will prepare construction documents. They'll do a geotechnical report and provide post-design services. In conclusion, Woodson Engineering and Surveying is going to prepare plans for construction of, this will be an asphalt pavement for approximately 1.03 miles of Control Road. It's in the Whispering Pines area. It's between Forest Service Road 32 and Forest Service Road 1190. We think it'll probably be 3 inches of asphalt on 6 inches of ABC. As a recommendation, the Public Works Department Director recommends that the board approve cooperative agreement contract Charles Tom Robert 058878 with Woodson Engineering in an amount not to exceed $148,535.
Thank you, Tom.
Questions?
Supervisor Humphrey?
Just one question. Was this bid out, or is that just a company that?
This is, yeah, we just went with an state contract and contacted Woodson directly. So we did not go out for bids on this one.
Okay. No further questions.
Supervisor Christensen.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Tom. So my memory is not serving me, but I thought we received about a $1.5 million grant that we're shaving off the 148 to do, but instead it's 75,000 toward this 148. And then we're budgeted with our own general funds to come up with the rest of that.
Yeah, you're correct. So the total grant is 1.5 million. We're using, the Forest Service to this point has agreed to give us 75,000 for design. We are going to go back to the Forest Service and say design is now at 148,000.
Okay.
And preliminary discussions are that they accept that.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Tom. That's all I have. Thanks.
So this, Tom, this is, this particular contract is just for the areas that we're gonna resurface and that we're gonna pave. It's not for the total length of the road.
No, sir, it's just for the 1.03 miles, and it's currently a dirt surface, so it will be, this will be the first time it'll be paved.
Yeah, okay. So one thing to clarify, just so everybody knows, by going through the state contracting like you're doing right now, the state has already done the solicitation on those contracts. That alleviates us from through that whole process.
Correct.
Correct?
And there are predetermined rates for
Yeah.
for the engineers and their CAD operator.
Yes, and so in the past, I've seen where that's been a pretty big benefit to the county by being able to just reach out and grab one of those contractors. So,
Yes, sir.
thank you for that. And with, Michael, did you have something you wanted to add? You're good? So with that, I'd entertain a motion.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'll move to approve the cooperative contract number CTR 058878 with Woodson Engineering and Surveying Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $148,535 for the Control Road, also known as Forest Service Road 64 Surfacing Project, as presented.
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. On to E, information discussion action to use a cooperative purchasing agreement with the State of Arizona Procurement Office, contract number CTR 058878, whereby Woodson Engineering and Surveying Incorporated will provide engineering design services to Gila County for the Gila Road resurfacing project in an amount not to exceed $100,000 through April 17th of '24. And Tom, this is your last one, I think.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is another request for approval to use state contract number Charles Tom Robert 058878 with Woodson Engineering and Surveying for engineering design services. The Gila County Public Works Department proposes to use this contract to have Woodson Engineering and Surveying provide construction plans for the Gila Road surfacing project. This will be a double chip seal project. Woodson Engineering will perform engineering design services for the county with a proposed project amount not to exceed $100,000. And that will include project management, preparation of construction documents, a geotechnical report, and post-design services. In conclusion, Woodson Engineering and Surveying will prepare these construction documents for the chip seal project of Gila Road. It's approximately 1.7 miles, and it's between the roadway high point and the existing cattle guard. We're also looking at ditch cleaning as part of this contract, some signing and striping improvements, and then we're also going to look at widening, the possibility of widening in the switchbacks. And so as a recommendation, our Public Works Department Director recommends that the board approve this cooperative purchasing agreement with, under the contract, Charles Tom Robert 058878 with Woodson Engineering in an amount not to exceed $100,000.
Thank you, Tom. Supervisor Humphrey?
Yeah, I'm just glad to see this come up. It was, you know, and I thought it was supposed to be done quite some time ago, but I'm glad to see this come up, and I'm also glad to see that you mentioned you're going to widen the switchbacks, because on the first part going up the hill, there's some of those switchbacks that you can't keep a 20-foot trailer and a truck on the road.
Right.
When you're going around the corner, even if you get out of your lane, you can't do it. So I appreciate this very much. Thank you. And I have no further questions, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Christensen?
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, I remember when this road was all dirt. And the switchback spoken of, before you get to the top of the hill, you can see your own taillights when you turn that corner. It's unbelievably sharp. And so, yeah, it definitely needs improving. So I thank you for the presentation.
Tom, it's good to see this project come to a finish. And this is the last step to get started paving, right?
Yes, sir. Our goal is to get this done by the end of this year.
Good. Good deal.
This year.
Thanks for doing that. With that, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve cooperative contract number CTR 058878 with Woodson Engineering and Surveying Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $100,000 for the Gila Road resurfacing project as presented.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to second that, but I just noticed that they both have the same number, contract number. Is
Yes.
that correct?
That is correct.
That's
yeah.
not a mistake. Okay, I will second that.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, sir.
On to F, information, discussion, action to adopt resolution number 23-05-01, which authorizes the grant of an access easement through the Gila County Star Valley Road Maintenance Yard to the United States of America by and through the Department of Agriculture, the Forest Service. Homer, good morning, sir.
Good morning. The item that I'm going to present is not a helicopter pad, it's a helicopter base. It is more than a pad. It's a hangar, it's an administrative area, and a crew, where a crew can rest area. There's a crew area as well. It's, if you've never been there, it's quite a construction site that they have. And it benefits the entire community to help with fire-related emergencies. So in 2018, the Forest Service approached the county to seek access through the Gila County Star Valley Road Maintenance Yard for the planned helicopter base just north of the yard. County Manager, Mr. Menlove, issued a letter to them granting temporary access to the construction site until a final alignment through the yard could be determined and agreed upon by the county and the Forest Service. We've agreed upon that alignment. You can see it up on the map. The access road has actually been built, paved by the Forest Service in 2022, and we're ready for board approval on an easement to be granted to the Forest Service so that they can gain access to that helicopter base. The easement is necessary for the Forest Service. There's really no other way to get up there. This is the best way, and it's an area that doesn't hurt us to offer them that easement. And again, an entire community benefits from this. It is the recommendation of the Public Works Department that the Board of Supervisors adopt resolution number 23-0501, and with that, I'll entertain any questions.
Thank you, Homer. Supervisor Humphrey?
Yeah, I think this is a good deal, and I'm willing to work with them. I just wonder why, of all places, that would be a place they would choose for their construction, but I guess that was up to them, and so I have no questions.
Supervisor Christensen.
Thank you, Chairman. And Homero, I asked the question yesterday, and I think it got answered, but, you know, this easement does cross an old landfill site. So apparently that's not an issue or a problem.
As far as I know, and I asked about that as well, there is no issue with the landfill.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have any questions, Homer. Good deal. It's good to get this one done, so that I'd entertain a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 23-05-01.
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion carries, yeah. On to G, information, discussion, action to award a contract in response to invitation for bids number 010222023, on-call road maintenance and heavy equipment services to the most responsive and responsible bidder, Convenient Mobile Service LLC, for a not-to-exceed amount of $100,000. Homero?
Thank you. The item that I'm going to bring in front of you right now has to do with an omission that happened on March 21st of this year. We had 6 vendors that we wanted to approve for the on-call road maintenance and heavy equipment services. And one of them, we omitted one of them, and we'd like to add that vendor to the list. So the board approved 5 of the 6 vendors: MD McMerritt Incorporated, Aldonero Construction, Klein Excavating, J.W. Fanster Resources, LLC, Rummel Construction. Unfortunately, we did not have Convenient Mobile Services, but that's what's included in this agenda item. And we'd like to have the board approve the suggested motion, which is to award a contract in response to invitation for bids number 0102-2023, on-call road maintenance and heavy equipment services to the most responsive and responsible bidder, Convenient Mobile Services LLC, for a not to exceed amount of $100,000.
Thank you, Homer. Supervisor Humphrey?
I have no questions.
Supervisor Christensen?
Thank you, no questions.
So this'll complete that list, Homer, what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay,
it will.
good deal. We're good, Jessica? All right. I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to award a contract to Convenient Mobile Services LLC for a not-to-exceed amount of $100,000 in response to invitation for bids number 01022023.
And Mr. Chairman, I will second that.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And on to the next one. This is your last one, Homer. Information, discussion, action to accept the application and petition to begin the process to vacate a portion of Olive Street north of Miami Road as shown on the map of West Globe Town Site, official plat map number 27, Gila County Records. Homer?
Thank you, Chair. Gila County has received a petition filed by Jeff and Denise Lovato to vacate a portion of a roadway that is on a town site map. They actually, in 1976, I don't know if it was them, but in 1976, a carport was added, and it actually encroaches upon the roadway, and you can see it on the map. They're asking for a 10-foot wide vacation of a roadway that's 50-foot wide. Actually, the roadway would stay there. It would be 40-foot wide through that section if we ever needed to have a roadway there. Today, there is no road there. So Gila County Public Works received that application and petition and it begins the process to vacate a portion of Olive Street north of Miami Road, that's shown on the map that you're looking at. The West Globe Town Site was recorded in 1910. Some of the roads and alleys in the subdivision have never been constructed or completed, which is the case in this particular instance. Many have been vacated in the past. This street has never been built. They're asking for a 10-foot wide strip that would rectify the encroachment that currently exists today. Public Works believes that it is in the best interest of all involved to begin the process to vacate that portion of the roadway. And one of the items that we need to do is we need to notify all the adjacent owners, abutting owners, all of the abutting owners to this portion that's going to be vacated, and we need to send them written notification. We'll also provide notification in the area itself by putting up posters. That's part of the process, and the next time that we take action, we need to give them at least 60-day notice. So it's a process that we go through. It also includes notifying utilities to make sure that the utilities are not affected. And we'll be following both the policy and the state statutes in the vacation process. So with that, I'd like to suggest a motion to accept the application and petition to begin the process to vacate a portion of Olive Street north of Miami Road as shown on the map of West Globe Town Site, official plat map number 27, Gila County Records. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Homer. Supervisor Humphrey?
On a deal like that, then they will need to go through the assessors and add that to their parcel? Or they will pay taxes on 2 parcels of land, or how will that work?
That will be up to them. We will sell it to them as it'll be a quit claim, that particular portion, and then they can take action to join the 2 parcels together.
Okay. No further questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Homer.
Supervisor Christensen?
Thank you. So, Homer, that was kind of my question too, that this should proceed to a point where they own that property because part of their structure's on that property. I can't imagine they'd be able to sell it very easily with part of the carport on a county road. So after we abandon, then they can petition for purchase or...
Yes, they can take those 2 parcels and join them together.
Okay. Thank you.
So is this actually a county-owned easement?
Correct. County-owned road.
And so, you know, I know nothing about this area, but there's nothing in the future that would say or have a possibility of needing it?
What remains is 40-foot wide.
And that's,
The roads in and around that area, some of them are not that wide. We believe 40-foot wide. There is actually a parcel behind this one. It's owned by Gila County. And below that is like a ravine area. I believe that a 40-foot, that what remains, the 40-foot wide would be more than sufficient for if someone were to build behind them, but it's also the slope is very steep right behind them. And that's the reason why that street was never built. These town site plats, somebody just set up rectangular streets and didn't account for the geography of the land. And so many have been vacated, many are not used and remain on the plat, but some of these roads have never been used or constructed.
sure. So, you know, that does bring up something to me is, okay, so we cut it back from a 50-foot easement to a 40-foot because they did encroach on that easement. Are they gonna be made to add that to their property? What if they just elected to say, no, we don't want to add it to our property?
In order for them to correct the encroachment and the setbacks, we could require for them to add that to the property. It's not something that we've done in the past that I know of. Normally, folks who want to join the properties, there's less taxes to be paid, I think, if you join them together.
Sure.
They would benefit themselves by no longer violating the building code
So
requirements.
I agree, and to me, it's like we're going through this hoop to rectify this problem rather than have them tear their building down that's on the right of way. So to me, it would only be right that says, hey, we're going to give up this 10 foot so you don't have to move your building, but in order to do that, you will have to attach it to your existing property.
Yeah.
Supervisor Humphrey?
Mr. Chair, if we quit claim it to them, it is theirs.
Sure.
So whether they have two parcels or one, it will be theirs.
And so, did I miss that?
No, I think Homero said that we would quit claim it to them.
We will follow
when we abandon
vacating policy, the abandoning and vacating policy, and the state statutes. We would actually sell them this parcel for an amount that's deemed advisable by the board. The practice has been 90% of the appraised value, of the assessor value, and we would then sell it to them via quit claim.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, as long as that's in the works, I'm good with that. I just sitting there thinking, okay, we go through these hoops, and then all of a sudden they say, no, we don't want it. But our building's still standing. So I just want to cover these bases and get this out. Jessica?
And member supervisors, likely that's why they initiated the petition, so that they could eventually have ownership. But if you're more comfortable, you can make the motion contingent on them purchasing the property. Your call.
Supervisor Humphrey, I'm going to ask you that. That's in your district. I could actually go either way, but I just wanted this out in the open.
Chairman, in my opinion, I don't think that it's necessary, but.
Okay. Okay. You good with it, Tim?
You bet.
All right.
If she's good with it, you're going to get no arguments from me.
Okay.
And as long as it's quit claimed, whether they pay taxes on both properties or tie it all in one, it's the same difference.
Okay, I'm good. So with that, if there's no other questions, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to accept the application and petition to begin the process to vacate a portion of Olive Street north of Miami Road as presented.
Mr. Chair, I will second that motion.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Homer.
Thank you very much.
On to I, information, discussion, action to authorize advertisement of invitation for bids number 041823- transport of autopsy services. Mike?
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. So this is a simple request. What we're requesting is for the board to authorize the advertisement for invitation for bids for transport services for the deceased persons around Gila County. Those expire June of this year, so we're asking to advertise it now so we're able to get those contracts in place prior to the expiration. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Michael. Supervisor Humphrey?
Yeah, the only question I have is I think the last time this went out for bid, there was some, I don't know, glitch in the system or something, and somebody didn't get notified that this was up for bid again and they were interested in this bid. And I don't believe that this is a service that a lot of individuals would be able to provide. So I guess I would just like to be sure that the people that are qualified to do these transports would be notified, rather than they didn't read the Payson paper, so they didn't know that it came up for bid.
Is that something I'm allowed to do before the bidding process?
Chairman, member supervisors, you certainly can if you have an individual who had approached you in the past who indicated that they would have put out a bid, but they were unaware of it. I'm not sure if you know which company it was, so that we can enlighten them that it's out for bid again. We can certainly do that.
Yeah, I do, because a lot of our stuff now goes to the Payson paper, and a lot of our local people don't read the Payson paper, so they just don't know that here it is and there it went, and it's like, what happened? So anyway, if it's okay, yeah, that's all.
Yep.
Thank you.
Supervisor, I'd be happy to get that name of the company from you. And
Okay.
pass it on to Marin Belling and her staff.
I thank you.
You betcha, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Supervisor Christensen?
Thank you. No questions.
I'm good, Michael. Thank you. That entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to authorize the advertisement of invitation for bid number 041823.
I will second.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. On to J. Information, discussion, action to authorize county staff's participation in the June 12th, 23 manufacturer's ordering window for Ford Expedition vehicles not to exceed $500,000 of American Rescue Plan Act funds. Michael?
Chairman, members of the board, for this agenda item, back on September in 2022, the Gila County Board of Supervisors approved a plan to expend some of the ARPA funds. This $500,000 was included in part of that plan, and what we're asking the board to consider today is, due to supply chain issues, it's been very difficult to plan for purchasing vehicles. So what we're asking is to have this agenda item approved so we can be ready and our fleet management team can be ready to purchase vehicles for the sheriff's department when the window opens June of this year. If you recall, in the past, it's been a very difficult chore to try and put orders into the vehicles due to the chip of the vehicles. There's a shortage out there. So the automobile makers have opened up this window. We can't say for sure that it's going to be open. Last time we thought it was going to be open, but they did not open it. But we're hoping to be prepared this time in case it is open so we can get those vehicle orders.
Thank you, Michael. Supervisor Humphrey?
No questions, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Christensen?
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. No questions.
Thank you.
So do you think there'll ever come a time when we don't have to worry about these windows?
I hope so.
That'd be nice.
That'd be super.
So,
yes.
Thank you, Michael. With that, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to authorize county staff's participation in the June 12, 2023 manufacturer's ordering window for Ford Expedition vehicles in the amount of $500,000 of American Rescue Plan Act funds.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. On to K, information, discussion, action to authorize the Gila County Finance Department to accept an appropriation disbursement from the state of Arizona for deputy in detention retention funds and disperse to eligible Gila County Sheriff's Office employees in the amount of $1,250 before taxes as defined by Arizona Department of Administration Agreement Number DBFFY23L22CH31304 with Gila County. Michael?
Chairman, members of the board, good morning again. This particular item is, last year, the state of Arizona appropriated funding for all counties to distribute to their sheriff's officers around the state of Arizona. So this item is just to accept that money, and so we could work with the finance department to get that to the eligible employees in the sheriff's office.
Thank you, sir. Supervisor Humphrey.
No questions, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Christensen.
Thank you, Chairman. So, Michael, is it just for detention officers, or is there more employees in the Sheriff's Department that would receive this? You don't have to get super detailed. I'm just wondering.
It's my understanding it's just for the detention officers.
Okay.
And it's a quarterly payment.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I'm good, Michael. Thank you. With that, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to authorize the Gila County Finance Department to accept an appropriation disbursement from the state of Arizona for deputy and detention retention funds and disperse to eligible Gila County Sheriff's Office employees as presented.
And Chairman, I will second that.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
On to L, information, discussion, action to approve amendment number 3 to an independent contractor agreement, contract number 07012022-23 between Arizona Community Action Association, DBA Wildfire, and the Gila County Community Services Department. Community Action Program whereby Wildfire will administer URRD, utility repair, replacement, and deposit assistance funds in the amount of $126,930 from July 1st of 22 through June 30th of 23. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. This is an amendment to our current ERD contract, URRD, to help with our emergency repair program. We ran out of monies quickly this year, and so they've added an additional $45,000 to these funds.
Cool. Supervisor Humphrey.
No questions, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Christensen.
No questions. Thank you, Melissa.
Well, at least they didn't take away that money, huh? So that maybe we're gaining, Melissa.
I don't know.
All right. Well, with that, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve amendment number 3 to independent contractor agreement contract number 07012022-23.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. On to M, information, discussion, action to approve amendment number 1 to funding agreement number 100-23 with the Arizona Department of Housing to extend the agreement for 5 months to December 1st, 23 regarding the proposed transitional housing project in Gila County. Melissa?
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. This amendment is to extend the contract to that transitional housing program that was the pass-through into Gila House. I had hoped to get the dollars passed through and finished up prior to my leaving, but the regulations stipulate that we have to do it in certain increments, and I'm hoping that this will be completed, well, it will be completed by the end of this year.
Thank you, Melissa. Supervisor Humphrey?
Mr. Chair, I have no questions.
Supervisor Christensen?
Thank you. No, I don't have any questions.
Melissa, thank you for working with this. Appreciate it. With that, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve amendment number 1 to the Arizona Department of Housing Fund Agreement number 100-23 as presented.
And Mr. Chair, I will second that.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Melissa, your last one in. Information discussion action to approve amendment number 8 to an intergovernmental agreement contract number DI 20-002263 between the Arizona Department of Economic Security and the Gila County Community Services Department to include the total value of the itemized service budget of $675,657 for the period of July 1st, 22 through June 30th, 23. Melissa?
Yes, this is carryover funds from DES, Department of Economic Security, that are the backbone of our CAP program, Community Action Program. Normally, I come to you in November and December for the carryover funds. They end their fiscal year and then bump out more dollars to the different entities, the 11 entities within the state. In this case, they're running a little behind, and that's why I'm here before you today.
Thank you, Melissa. Supervisor Humphrey?
Yeah, Melissa, I have no questions. I just wonder, are we going to have to approve you leaving? You know, that's up before us.
Sorry, I forgot to ask you. Any of it, actually. I asked Kathy that.
And secondly, you know, you come before us, and there's always these little pots of money here and there and here and there. So, you know, I appreciate so much what you do. It's like building a quilt. You know, you take this little patch here, this little patch here, this little patch here, and you sew it together to do what you do, and you do it extremely well. And so it's very much appreciated on how you sew all these little pieces together to make your operation work. So,
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I have no questions. That's the only comment.
Supervisor Christensen?
Thank you, Melissa. No questions.
Thank you.
Good job as always, Melissa.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I agree with Tim. We might not approve that retirement part. That I entertain a motion.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll move to approve amendment number 8 to the Arizona Department of Economic Security Intergovernmental Agreement, contract number DI 20002263 as presented.
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you again, Melissa. On to O, information discussion action to approve agreement number 09272023, an economic development grant to provide $2,500 to the Rim Country Quilt Roundup, which the board has determined to be for the benefit of the public. And Supervisor Christensen, you're it.
Yes, thank you. So this is an ongoing request for constituent funds that has been going on now 16 years from the District 1 supervisor. And this show brings a lot of people from around the state and the area. It's really great for the economy. We have a great quilting society in the area. And they will be providing a significant amount of advertising for Gila County and what we do. So with that, I'll answer any questions.
Supervisor Humphrey?
I guess I have no questions, Mr. Chair.
So the only thing I would ask, Steve, is this in Payson or Pine? Or
It'll be held at the Madezel Casino.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. With that, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve agreement number 09272023 with Rim Country Quilt Roundup in the amount of $2,500.
I will second that.
Having a motion and second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. P, information discussion action to appoint the following individuals to the Gila County Provisional Community College Advisory Committee for the term of office that began on January 1st, 23 through December 31st, 24. Mr. Steve Christensen, Mr. Fernando Shipley, Mr. Bobby Davis, Mr. Carl Couch, and Mr. Neil Jensen. Michael?
Great. Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. So this item is to correct an omission from December 6th, 2022 for Supervisor Steve Christensen's appointment to at least get him dates that he's been appointed to this committee, as well as the consideration for appointing Fernando Shipley, Bobby Davis, Carl Couch, and Neil Jensen to the Gila County Provisional Community College Advisory Committee, and the terms of the office for all of them to be January 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2024.
Supervisor Humphrey, any questions or comments?
Couple questions. One, so they will all terminate at the same time?
They will. It's
going
to be.
Is that a wise decision? I mean, because if they get kind of a deal going and all four of them leave at once, then that just kind of quits the motive.
It is. We're going to be working with Marion Shepherd, supervisor, to go with staggered terms as we move forward.
As we move forward?
Yes.
Okay, because I was going to say, yeah, right now it doesn't look, and up until now, there's only been two, which was Mr. Christensen and Mr. Shipley?
Correct.
Okay, and how has that been going?
We had our first, well, we haven't had a full committee meeting just yet, but last month we met with the college advisory board as well as the county administration, along with HR and the county attorney, Jessica, and we held our first meeting at that particular time. And I believe we have another meeting coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Excellent, yeah, because I would really like to see this go forward, and I have a lot of respect for the people on that, so it's great that we're getting. Now, does that present a full board, or we still have positions for the board open?
I believe that will provide a full board.
Okay, so then we can start moving forward with motivation and
Correct, sir.
try to get some more action on this. Thank you very much.
Jessica?
Chairman, supervisors, so pursuant to the IGA with the Provisional Community College, one of the advisory committee members is going to be one of the board members. So once Supervisor Christensen is done with his term, either the board will decide to reappoint him or it will default to another supervisor. Same as for Member Shipley, there has to be a member from the Provisional Community College Board. So once his term is through, then they will go ahead and appoint another member from the Provisional Community College Board. From there, those two individuals will decide which other members they want to appoint, and they make a recommendation before you guys and also before the Provisional Community College Board.
Thank you for that information.
Thank you, Jessica. Supervisor Christensen.
Just a comment that feel privileged and encouraged to serve on this board. Fernando Shipley will serve as the chairman currently right now. And of course, moving forward with this is been a decades-long pursuit. So there's a lot of exciting things for the future of the community college here in Gila County.
I agree, Supervisor.
So I would say you got an outstanding board, looking at all these members. So I would expect to see some really good things come out of this, and it'll be good. It'll be good for the county. With that, I'd entertain a motion.
Jessica, is it appropriate I make the motion?
You could actually recuse yourself. That's a good question. Go ahead and recuse yourself just because they're reappointing you, even though they did it back on December. We want to highlight which
Sure.
you're going to be serving. So go ahead and recuse yourself.
No problem.
The others.
Yeah, I'll recuse myself of this vote.
Are we still going to get 2 votes?
Let's give it a try, Tim, see where it goes. Do we have anybody to break that? If not?
Okay, here we go. Mr. Chair, I move to appoint the following individuals to the Gila County Provisional Community College Advisory Committee: Steve Christensen, Fernando Shipley, Bobby Davis, Carl Couch, and Neil Jensen.
And I'll second that. All in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're good. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jessica. Consent agenda action items. Do either one of you have anything you want to address, take off, move, whatever?
Mr. Chair, I'm good, thank you.
I'm good as well, thank you.
And me as well, so I'd entertain a motion to accept these.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to accept consent agenda items 4A through 4H.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Having motion and second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. On to 5, call to the public. Do we have any public? We don't have any public in Payson, other than you, huh?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. We don't have any in Globe, and do we have anything on YouTube? No? How many people do we have on YouTube today? Good, good deal. Okay, moving on to number 6, is the updates. And Michael, since you're sitting in James's position, do you have any updates for us?
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. Just 2 quick updates on personnel changes. You've heard from Melissa Buzan today. She's retiring in about 4 weeks, so we're sad to see her go. And we've found her replacement, Kaylee Lathrop. She was an employee of the Gila County Health and Emergency Management Department, and she just started yesterday working with Melissa to try and take all that knowledge away from Melissa that she has in her brain for the last 30 years. So we're going to miss Melissa, and as we move forward with community services, next board meeting I'll bring Kaylee in and introduce her to each of you. And then the second announcement we have is in the back over there we have Carrie Bartling. She's graciously accepted to become the next IT director, and you may know her. She was our current deputy director in IT, and she's been with Gila County for over 10 years now. So I'd like to welcome Carrie, and we expect great things from IT in the future with her.
Well, congratulations, you two. And Carrie, are you going to give a speech? None. And we're going to time you to 3 minutes.
I just want to say thank you, and I look forward to continuing to support the county in any way we can with
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. And Melissa, you're going to be missed dearly, I'm telling you. So, good. Good. All right, Supervisor Humphrey?
Let's see, I did a roll-off day in Gila. We filled 2 dumpsters, and I always take my truck and trailer for the metal and the tires so that so they don't have to separate the roll-offs when they get to the landfill. And so I had one in Gila, had one in Deer Creek Village, and it's a long way to the dump up in Payson from Deer Creek Village and Roosevelt. It's plumb on the other side of Payson with a load. So, but I took it all up there, being we're hauling it all up there anyway. I thought, why haul it to Globe and then back? But anyway, those cleanup days, we filled both places. We filled 2 dumpsters in my truck and trailer in about 3 hours. So those rural areas sure appreciate it. I did, being I take care of the Little League field with the electricity and stuff, they asked me to throw out the first pitch for the Little League this year, so that was a good deal. I had my Tunnel Basin meeting, Roosevelt meeting. I was on KQSS last night and went to a Miami Town Hall last night. So other than that, just keeping up with the old grind of things, and still looking for an assistant. Haven't set up interviews yet. Been looking at applications, so I'll work on that soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Supervisor Christensen?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was traveling for over a week last week, so out of town visiting Texas and the kids over there, so that was a great time. And so I've been conducting some interviews myself, and tomorrow be at the commencement ceremony for the Gila County Provisional College. So I don't know if anyone else is going to be there, but I think we notified Samantha that it's possible more than one of us will be there. That's all I have. Thanks.
So last week I met with Congressman Eli Crane. He came to Young and looked at the vet center. He along with Senator Kelly are the 2 that put the bills up for transferring that site to the county. Kathy was there. We met with him and his staffer Gaither Martin, and had a really good meeting. Cameron, he was there, and anyway, we went through it, and he was real excited to see it. He actually told me he was expecting it to be a little bit worse than what it is. You know, we got things tore up right now because of remodels and things like that, and he was ecstatic to see what was going on. Cameron actually interviewed him there at the end at the old site, and it's recorded and it's on the retreat website. And I would encourage you guys to pull that up and listen to him and what he has to say. It was really good. And I think we have a strong supporter in the congressman, and he'll definitely be back. He's definitely looking forward to seeing it as a final, stages, and wants to be a part of it as well. So we will see him coming back. Yesterday I was in Payson. I met with District Ranger Matt Pachorik, had a long conversation, spent a little over 2 hours with him. Good conversation with him. It went all the way from updating him on the vet center as far as infrastructure improvements and things like that, making sure he knew that they were ready for his fire crews to roll in on the Forest Service side, and to where we are today with contracts and what's going on. Also, one of the things he brought up, I'll be working on as well. As we all know, homeless issues are a huge problem. They're really a problem for the Forest Service, because what happens is they're finding a lot of these camps out in the woods, anywhere from maybe just a tent to actually run down, tore up RVs and things like that. So one of the things I'm going to be working on, and I'll bring it in front of everybody, is a way that we can maybe help waive some of the dump fees on some of this to remove that trash that they'll be bringing in from the surrounding areas. So me and Kathy will be working with Matt on that and see what we can bring up in front of the group. Also yesterday, I had a text, Kathy had it as well, from Todd Bowman and them. The bill that Representative Marshall put forward in the state for $1 million that would go to the vet center was bumped up to $3 million. And so it's sitting there in the final stages of this. If the governor will sign that and get it going, we'll have an additional $3 million that will be targeted for the vet center. That is just a tremendous plus for the vet center. It will actually wrap that place up for the most part, and maybe even be looking at possibly some services or something else that's going to come in there to benefit our veterans. And I just, I can't thank him enough for what he did, and he's pretty strong with it. And I expect that to go through. I don't really expect to see that one fail. So we're just a waiting game now to see if the governor will sign it. And other than that, I think that is all I have. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes. So as you know, we've worked on the summer youth programs for the last 6 years in the county. The number of applicants today, and it's not closed yet, it'll run through Monday, but up to today, we have 34 applicants in Hayden and Winkleman, 10 in Payson, and 13 in Globe and Miami. So if there's anyone out there that you know of that maybe thinks they've missed it or whatever, please pass it along to them to apply and jump in there. We have been known to stretch that deadline out a little bit too. So I guess what I'm saying though is there's just a tremendous amount of kids that's looking for a job this year. So when it comes to all the directors and people inside the county, if you need anybody, by all means, jump in there and grab someone. I know in the past, we've actually worked with James, and with this year it'd be with Michael as well, to help fund those students that would be in your department. So we want to definitely make sure and employ as many of those kids as we can, and go from there. Supervisor Humphrey.
Yeah, I think it's great. I brought that up on my radio station interview last night at KQSS. And I just think it's a great thing, because when we got here 6 years ago, there was like 2 youth hired over the summer, and last year we had like 45, and this year with all the applicants we have and interviewing them and put them in positions, to where their interests are. I think our youth program is doing real well, and it's great to see that many, and what the pays like $13.85 an hour.
13
So
1385.
$13.85 an hour, which is great to help them build a little savings and get some experience. So I think it's a great deal.
One of the things that I've been working with is, for my neighboring supervisor in Pinal County, is maybe having a joint partnership for that copper corridor, all down through there. The difference is that when you look at that copper corridor, that corner down there, there's not very many opportunities for kids to work. There's just not much there.
And they have the most applicants.
There's 34 of them sitting there on the table right now. So that kind of shows that, and so, and today we're working between the school, the town of Hayden, the town of Winkleman. And so I'm hoping that me and Supervisor Surtee can come up with something to where we can actually work with, like, the town of Kearney.
Sure.
And other ones down there, the hospital. Well, we can't do the hospital. Never mind, scratch that one. Jessica might frown on that one.
Yeah.
So anyway, we want to increase it in that corner. But again, if you need any help or whatever, tie in with Michael, and I'm sure we'll get it worked out. With that, that's all I have. You guys good?
I'm good, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
All right. Well, with that, I'll adjourn the meeting, and you all have a very good week.